Without any doubt, class diagrams are the most frequently used UML diagram types. After identifying the entities that form our system, we start creating class diagrams for each of them. A class is represented on the class diagram as a rectangle with 3 compartments. First, we need to list the class's name. When naming our classes, we must adhere to some rules. These rules are known as naming conventions. A class name should be a noun in the singular and it needs to start with an uppercase letter. For example, trip. If the name consists of multiple words, we need to uppercase each word. Like in this example, Offline Persistence Manager. This style is called upper camel case, which is camel case with the first letter capitalized. Camel case is the practice of starting each word in a compound word or sentence with a capital. Why do we need rules? Why can't we just use any character sequence to name our classes? Well, we could do that. Yet, a naming convention lets us focus on important issues instead of arguing over syntax and names. With a commonly accepted set of rules, we can easily read the source code written by other developers, even if they are from another company, country, or continent. Standards are useful. Alright, so our class name should be a noun in upper camel case. Let's fill the other 2 compartments too. The next one lists the attributes. The attribute names should be concise and they should follow the lower camel case format. That is, with the first letter lowercase and the first letters of subsequent words in uppercase. A trip has a name. It has a creation date. Let's call it created at. It needs to have a home currency, a start date, starts at, and an end date, ends at. It's also useful to specify the type of the attribute. We can do that by writing the data type after the attribute's name separated by a colon. So here's our trip class with the attribute names and types. Now, the data types need to be adjusted to whatever programming language you're using. This example makes perfect sense in Swift. For Objective-C, you may want to use different types, like NSString instead of string and NSDate for dates. But even if we leave it as it is, nobody will have issues understanding that you refer to a string or a date or an integer. Next comes the operations compartment. This is where we list the class's methods. Method names should be verbs in lower camel case. We can also specify method arguments. The parameters appear within the parentheses as name data type pairs. To show that a method returns something, we add a colon after the closing parentheses followed by the return type. And we can also have methods that have arguments and a return type. GetEntries takes 2 arguments called fromDate and endDate, both of type date. The method returns a list of entries. This list could contain multiple values or just a single value, or it could even be empty. We don't specify this in our class diagram.